The new Peugeot hot hatch, electric hot hatch, guys. I personally have always loved hot hatches. I've owned one of them. I loved my experience. I know a few people, my brother's owned a couple of hot hatches. He's got a Ford Fiesta ST. He's also had a Ford Focus ST. Big hot hatch fan. And they've always been internal combustion powered. So they've always been, to be honest, not all that fast. That's about to change. The new Peugeot electric hot hatch, the E-208 GTI, has been unveiled, and it's a massive improvement of the previous internal combustion powered version of that same car. Hello, my friends. Great to have you with us. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Let's get straight to it. Peugeot has pulled the wraps off the all-electric 208 GTI. It's a hot hatch engineered by Peugeot Sport, the same team behind the Le Mans competing 9X8 or 9x8 hybrid hypercar. Inspired by the legendary 1984 Peugeot 205 GTI, this modern EV reinterpretation uses cutting-edge battery technology with a bit of old-school GTI spirit. Really, that's one of the things about hot hatches. They're not just perfect cars. They have a bit of character to them. So that's what Peugeot are trying to embed in this electric version. Performance. The Peugeot 208 GTI is powered by an M4 Plus electric motor producing 208 kilowatt. That is 280 horsepower. And it also has 345 newton meters of torque, which is 254 pound-feet. This means it can do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 0 to 62 miles an hour in 5.6 seconds, even though it's front-wheel drive, and it's going to struggle to get that power down through those front wheels. But that's a huge improvement over the previous petrol-powered 205 GTI, which did it in 8.6 seconds. Anyhow, it's quick, right? It's a hot hatch, and it does 0 to 100 with front-wheel drive in 5.6 seconds. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Despite its higher curb weight, it's around 1,600 kilograms. That's 3,527 pounds. The E-208 GTI maintains some pretty damn good responsiveness, according to Peugeot, because of some major chassis tweaking and weight distribution improvements unique to the electric platform. So some people say, EVs are not as good as performance cars because they can be heavier, not always heavier, some of them are lighter. However, they forget the fact that it's very easy to create an EV with 50-50 perfect weight distribution because you don't have this engine sitting high up in the car or sitting in the front of the car. They're almost always sitting in the front of the car, right? Unless it's a supercar or a hypercar, the engine's in the front of the car and the weight distribution becomes an enormous challenge. In this instance, I think Peugeot is saying this is going to handle really well. The car comes with a 54 kilowatt hour battery, enabling WLTP range of 350 kilometers. That's 217 miles. Could be better. I mean, if they put a 60 kilowatt hour battery in it, with say some high energy density batteries, you'd probably get closer to 450 kilometers of range. But anyhow, it's still not bad. DC fast charging is not all that fast though. 100 kilowatt charging, meaning 20 to 80% battery top up takes around 30 minutes. AC home charging is actually quite good. It's 11 kilowatt and it's compatible with 3-phase wall boxes. To ensure hot hatch handling, Peugeot Sport engineers have made some pretty significant modifications. They've lowered the ride height by 3 centimeters, that's 30 millimeters, or 1.18 inches. Let's just round it off, 1.2 inches. It's also got one cool change, which I think looks really good. Widened tracks. The front plus 24 millimeters, meaning the front has been widened by 0.94 inches above the E208. And it's actually much wider than a standard 208. It's 2.2 inches. That's 56 millimeters wider than a standard Peugeot 208. At the rear, it's plus 10 millimeters, which is plus 0.39 inches over the E208. But compared to the standard 208, it's plus 27 millimeters or plus 1.06 inches. This has been significantly widened versus the standard car. As a result, they've had to put this sort of cladding on the side of the car to kind of cover up the wheels. So, because obviously you can't have the wheels sticking out the sides of the car, it's not actually legal. So they put the cladding on the sides, and I think it kind of looks cool. Gives it that wider stance look. In addition, it also has uprated springs, shocks, bushings, anti-roll bars, and also a limited slip differential built into the reducer, which is a first for an electric vehicle hot hatch. This apparently improves grip and agility. I'd love to drive this car. I think it looks pretty good. How big is it? Not very big. It's about the size of the BYD Seagull, the stretched version for Europe. That's called the Dolphin Surf. It's 4,055 millimeters long, so about 4 meters long. That's 159.6 inches. Width, 1,745 millimeters, 68.7 inches. And height, 1,430 millimeters, about 56 inches high. Wheelbase is actually pretty good. As you can see, the wheelbase is quite stretched. It's 2,540 millimeters, which is 100 inches exactly. So you're going to get a fair bit of usable space on the inside. Wheels, it uses 18-inch alloys, fortunately, because that's a better choice than putting on big wheels. How heavy is it? It's 1,600 kilograms or 3,527 pounds. It's around about 150 kilograms heavier than, say, a petrol-powered version. Really not much of a difference if you ask me. Boot space is not bad for a car this size, 310 litres, that's about 11 cubic feet. And boot space seats down is 1,110 litres, that's about 39.2 cubic feet. So it should be a fairly practical car. That's what I think hot hatches. It's not just character, performance, it's also the practicality. I've always thought of that's the reason why I personally was drawn to them. That, and I like to drive around corners fast. Design and interior. So the GTI has those flared arches, which I mentioned before, which it needs to kind of hide that extra track width. It also has unique 18-inch lightweight alloy wheels and a pretty good-looking visual package. I think it's a nice-looking car. Red accents, which is a hallmark of the GTI lineage, feature prominently throughout the cabin, along with sporty bucket seats and also Peugeot's signature iCockpit digital display layout. I think the interior does look pretty nice. The modern GTI blends retro cues with a bit of a futuristic kind of look. It's like a combination between retro and future. I think it works. And it's a new design direction apparently for Peugeot's electric performance range. Pricing, rivals, not a lot of rivals. I mean, Volkswagen haven't got their ID2 hot hatch or any hot hatch out yet, really. Official pricing is yet to be confirmed, but Peugeot is targeting a price of around 35,000 euros. But Peugeot is targeting a price of around 40,000 euros. So yeah, it's certainly not cheap. That's around 44,000 US dollars. Anyway, it's going to compete with other performance EVs like the Abarth 600e, the Mini John Cooper Works EV, and the Alpine A290. But I believe it'll be cheaper than those other models that I've just mentioned. You can see here, hot hatches are going electric. I mean, in the future, they'll be much quicker than this, of course, and they'll be much lighter than this. They'll use smaller batteries, and they'll get more range. Charging speed will be massive. I mean, future hot hatches, let's fast forward 10 years into the future. I think you're going to see hot hatches with 600 plus kilometers of range, charging speeds, 400, 500, 600, maybe even 1,000 kilowatt. And also, you're going to be seeing insane performance. I mean, 0 to 100 in 3 seconds will be normal. That will be common. But here we are today, and I still think this is pretty good. This is certainly a big upgrade over the petrol-powered version. Now, apparently, Peugeot Sport want to make a solid-state battery version of this car. That would maybe double the range, and it would be lighter. So that could be exciting as well, but that's a fair few years away still. Guys, whether you're a long-time GTI fan or you're just an EV enthusiast like me, I'm actually both of those things, I think, and you're looking for excitement behind the wheel, the E-208 GTI, and to me it looks like one of the most compelling small performance cars of the coming electric era. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye-bye.